Welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Now, we got some things to talk about today. The court of public opinion is real, and the public sector sets the tempo, the boundaries of what's really going on. And I know without a shadow of a doubt, we're looking at some strange times right now, especially in entertainment and politics. And if you didn't know, entertainment and politics kind of go hand in hand, okay? Because they like to use a lot of the celebrities to, promote their campaigns, and then those celebrities who don't endorse, things like the woodworks, things might come out of left field that's been, on the table for all these years because it just, my mind about the things that's coming out, the Diddy, the things that's coming out with Jay-Z. And I'm looking, trying to find some information like, did these guys endorse Harris? Did these guys support any political campaigns? And, they were supporting Democrats all the way up in Paris. And now we see these individuals, having to do things. So the court of public opinion. And we're going to talk about the court of public opinion, which is so popular that trials are being tried online. This is why lawyers get out in front of it. This is why they put out social media posts and things like that. But we're going to talk about the court of public opinion and Trump news. They're kissing the pinky ring on Donald Trump. If you did not, breaking news, Bezos kissing the ring. Zuckerberg is kissing the ring. They both are donating $1 million to the inauguration party. Okay, because, they got to do what do. And this is one thing that I really want Black America to understand, that we not have a political affiliation with either side. Because look at Zuckerberg and look at Bezos. Zuckerberg kicked Trump off of Facebook. Bezos donated so much money to left-wing organizations and Black Lives Matter and all of that. But all these organizations are no longer. Where's Black Lives Matters? Where's, Facebook and all of these organizations now? So has kicked in and Zuckerberg has kicked in. And just to keep it a buck with you, I'm going to just read the headlines in the sense of, what's going on, because it's crazy. Because another one that kissing the pinky ring. And we got to talk about this. That's AB. And this is just the headlines. ABC settles a defamation suit with Donald Trump for $15 million. ABC. And remember, ABC was the outlet. Harris, one of Harris's besties, is president over there. And ABC was pretty much throwing Donald Trump under the bus. The guy, George Stephanopoulos, and all of these guys. So on the headlines, CNN, ABC News settles defamation suit with Trump for $15 million. Newsweek, ABC faces anger after $1 million lawsuit or $15 million settlement to Trump, and is basically taking a talking point that I've been promoting for a very long time. It says democracy dies. So if you believe that and understand that, let's have a conversation today. Let's talk about it. You talk to me, I'll talk back. Okay. Because sometimes, we have to communicate to really, iron sharpens iron. So, throw some questions in the comments. Let's talk about it, because ABC, or let me see here, Newsweek is talking about a $15 million settlement with Trump, and it says democracy dies. Democracy is dead. And big up to my friend from India. Okay. Let me see. Fox News, George Stephanopoulos and ABC apologized to Trump and are forced to pay $15 million. ABC forced. So when a lot of things go on, I look back and I say, what's the distraction? We're looking at all these headlines and all these things that's coming on and going on in the news. But what is the distraction? So this popped up on my timeline and in my algorithm, and I'm sitting back like saying, wow. So ABC, this is the New York Times, and I'm just reading the headlines. ABC's $15 million to settlement for a defamation suit brought by, so pretty much, man, this is crazy. Yes, it is very good, because what it is doing, and that's Phil, what it is doing is showing us that democracy, number one, has died in America. That's what it's showing. Okay. And then they're showing that ABC, okay, and the reason why they pretty much settled, because the court of public opinion is real. Because if they didn't settle, then we'll have opportunities to have conversations about it. And we can really talk about it and find out what really happened. So since they settled, we don't know what transpired, okay, in terms of what the defamation suit entails, but we do know it was damaging enough for them to pretty much settle and to pay Donald Trump $15 million. And I guarantee you it was about fake news. I guarantee you it was about lies and deceit. I guarantee you it had to do with, the positivity and everything that they were doing with the Harris campaign and how they were sliding the Republican side, because the mainstream media, they follow the money. Okay, because I know they're going to ABC is going to televise the inauguration. Even Amazon Prime is going to televise inauguration. So they are kissing the ring. Okay, ABC kissed the ring, gave Donald Trump $15 million. We talking about Disney, ESPN, $15 million and an apology. ABC. And then if you look at Zuckerberg, remember Zuckerberg, kicked Trump off of Facebook. Zuckerberg allowed Black Lives Matters and all of these things to go viral. And all of a sudden, Zuckerberg, has a change of heart. Okay, Zuckerberg has a change of heart. All of a sudden, let me see here. All of a sudden, Mark Zuckerberg has a change of heart. Let me see here. 1 million. Let's see what comes up. Let me see here. What 1 million, this is, let me see here. What 1 million buys you from Trump. Let me see here. Tech moguls, Altman, Bezos, and Zuckerberg donate to Trump's inauguration fund. So they're pretty much paying for the party. They're paying for the party. Think about it. Tech billionaires are lining up to donate to Trump's inauguration. And that's MSNBC. Come on, man. What's going on with the world? So what I'm saying is democracy has died. And this is why Black men, brown, the minority groups, we can no longer support the Democratic Party because of what's going on. They told me a very long time ago, follow the money. Why are all these far left Democrats, okay, these far left, Zuckerberg is Jewish. Why are these far left Democrats somehow, some way kicking in to pay for Donald Trump's inauguration? Tech billionaires are lining up to donate to Trump's inauguration. Amazon to contribute 1 million to Trump's inauguration fund. Meta is to contribute 1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration fund. This is for the party. And I'm sure it's not going to be a white party. But at the end of the day, what is this telling us? What is this saying to us? Because you got to learn how to turn. Okay, you got to learn how to adjust. Because while they are kissing the ring of President Trump, there are some individuals out there that won't even get the opportunity to kiss the ring. These Black liberal Democrats, career suicide, over, went too far. The Congressional Black Caucus is being dismantled as we speak. The Cory Bookers of the world, the Hakeem Jeffries, all of these individuals somehow, some way that was pretty much going in on President Trump, career is over. They can't even come to the Black community and communicate with us anymore. The only thing the Democratic Party has as a stronghold was the baby boomers and a Black male homosexual. That's what they invested in. The science of Willie Lynch. You get control of the woman and she will train her son, her male son, to be just like her. And now that situation is starting to starting to end, now we get an opportunity to really see how this thing work. Okay, how we can actually be nonpartisan, independent, and work and operate in that realm outside of a political party, which is the Democratic Party, which everybody knows who went to school and got an education. That is the party of slavery, the party of Jim Crow, and the party of mass incarceration, in short. So now that the party has expired, Now that they have invested in the woman, and in circles, they call in Harris a bedwenching concubine who screwed herself to the top. Now that we see that they invested in her and to gay homosexual men out of the African American community, not the black community, because the black community, you could be what you want, long as you are representing the brand of morals, of working with, anything that can actually help the cause of our communities. Because in the neighborhood, they call this checking in. So Jeff Bezos got to check in $1 million. Zuckerberg got to check in $1 million. ABC News had to check in with $15 million to Donald Trump. Think about that. $15 million to Donald Trump. ABC News, Mark Zuckerberg, $1 million to Donald Trump. Jeff Bezos, $1 million to Donald Trump. Checking in. Okay, and then these individuals can't check in because their careers are over. So now the baby boomers, they are hurt. I talk to baby boomers. I'm talking about, people born prior to 64. Okay, and they said that the baby boomers was this generation. But if you pay attention and understand that the baby boomer generation was the generation that actually sold out. Okay, they sold the black race out for their personal disposition because they wanted to be accepted by a certain group of people here in America, went from being black and proud to an African American, and somehow, the blank has hit the fan. Okay, shit's in the Bible, so the dong has hit the fan. And now they realize their whole lifetime was predicated on a false principle, on a false axle built on sand and in this election. They got knocked down and blew out by somebody who's supposed to be a racist, supposed to be a sexist, supposed to be all it is, but he won the electoral college as well as the popular vote. And now these white organizations, these Jewish organizations are kissing the ring because Zuckerberg is paying $1 million for Trump's inauguration fund. Jeff Bezos, who is paying $1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration fund. And get this, ABC News just paid Donald Trump $15 million to settle a defamation lawsuit. So now we don't even know what that's about. So now they closed the chapter on that. It is what it is. And I'm in the comments, boomers have ruined the country. Yes, they did. They ruined the country, but their reign is over. Okay, they tried to skip generation, get to the Pepsi generation, to Gen Z. And what comes after Z? A, to the front of the book. And this is one thing we do support with Project 2025 is that on election day or first day in office, Trump's going to sign documentation as an executive order to just recognize male and female. Because when you in the book, there cannot be a sequel. Then you go back to the front of the book. God made male, he made female. End of discussion. Let's move on. Now we're going to see how these liberal organizations are going to try to brand themselves when they're actually being exposed and they can't even go to the party. Black women supporters of Harris and black women has come together, and what I've seen that they're pretty much just going to sit back. They're going to sit back and just mind their business because they understand how it works. And I've talked to a lot of them, and I'm telling not just we don't want a woman. OK, we don't want that woman. They don't know the history of Kamala Harris. They don't know how she became who she is, but they got to understand the science of Willie Lynch. Willie Lynch says, once we get that woman in the household with us, we'll be able to sleep at night. And then she'll turn her son, raise her son to be just like her. And look what they did. So yes, baby boomers have destroyed this country. They have sold their souls. And just like in the book of Exodus, instead of trusting God, believing in God, and pushing forward to get to the promised land that Dr. King talked about, they settled. They sat back, settled. And when I say they settled, they pretty much settled. Okay, can we play in your ball league? Okay, with this discretion, only if we just end the Negro League. Okay, so we can't have our own baseball league. Yes, but we'll put Jackie Robinson on jersey and you guys will be on the team. Okay, so they sacrifice our franchises, our children's wealth by that. Okay, so can we eat in the bathroom as you? Before of integration. They had whites only. Democratic Confederate South had, whites only establishments. They had white only establishments. So therefore, there had to be black only establishments. This is where they get the juke joints from. This is where they get the black churches from. This is where they get all the talent. But then they wanted to, can we please eat with you, sir? Massa, can we eat with you? We'll sit back and let you throw milk at us. We'll let you wet us up with water hoses. We'll let you blow up our churches, but we wants to be with you, sir. We want your massa. And Massa said, you know what? If we do this, let's make sure we destroy everything that they got, because there's this town in Greenwood, Tulsa, Oklahoma. OK, they call it Black Wall Street, and it's one of the thriving cities in this country, but it's owned by blacks. So we're going to have to go ahead and dismantle that because they want to eat with us. Because if we don't destroy what they have established, then whites are going to come to their establishments. Just like, people, there's, white people who happen to be in a different class. And by default, they're in the community, the black community. They sup with us. They eat with us. They live with us. They are right here. We love them because there's no such thing as reverse racism. But they said they're going to get riches and wealth. So let's make sure we destroy everything they have since they want to be with us. So they basically destroyed everything we ever had. We couldn't have a race after 1964 because with James Brown, we were saying it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. They turned us to an African American. What? They put us in a pot with women, including white women. They put us in a pot with white men in the LGBTQ community. They put us in the pot with the immigrants. And they made sure we never established ourselves. And this election, an opportunity to end the curse. It's over because now we don't want to be a liability. We want to be an asset. And just like Zuckerberg is checking in $1 million to Donald Trump's inauguration fund, just like Bezos is checking in $1 million to Donald Trump inauguration fund, just like ABC News, a major Trump hater, is checking in and broke him off $15 million. So we're not checking in, we're going to tap in, okay, as nonpartisan independents. And our job and our life body of work is to basically expose the Democratic Party for what it is and make sure it never, ever, ever has an opportunity to reinvent itself. Because at the end of the Civil War, it should have been over. But somehow, some way, the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, the Vice President Andrew Johnson, along with Congress, put the criminalization clause in the 13th Amendment. So it reads neither slavery nor involuntary servitude unless criminalized. And they realized us because 2 weeks after the Civil War came into effect, meaning if you was a newly freed slave and we catch you, we're going to put a ball and chain on your ankle and force you to work free labor. And it's still on the books. Exactly. They better kiss the ring, and they kiss Zuckerberg. Mwah! 1 million. Bezos. Mwah! 1 million. Come on now. ABC News. Mwah, 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 mwah. $15 million. Oh my God. And this is a bad person. So just imagine what the FBI going to have to do. Just imagine what the CIA is going to have to do. Now I know why the FBI director stepped down. Okay. Just like the Secret Service, just imagine what they got to do. That Trump, that assassination, you mean to tell me they not going to talk about and investigate that? Come on now. So now things are coming home to roost. And all the black individuals who sold their souls to the devil. And I'm going to say this. Those who sold their souls to the devil is paying the price right now because the court of opinion is tearing them up. Puffy's in jail right now. Okay, he's behind bars. Jay-Z is trying to disassociate himself with Puffy. I saw an interview. Jay-Z's manager said that Puffy and Jay-Z are just associates. Okay, that's the worst thing that they could have ever done. That's the worst thing that he could have ever done. Jay-Z and Puffy are one in the same. Okay. And the court of public opinion says Jay-Z is guilty because his whole career is predicated on dating teenagers until he married Beyonce when she turned 21. Foxy Brown, signed an NDR, a non-disclosure agreement, was smashing Jay-Z at the age of 14. Aaliyah, R. Kelly, best of both worlds, running trains on Aaliyah, 14 years old. There's pictures surfacing with Jay-Z and Beyonce when she was 16 years old with Destiny's Child. So you just waited until she turned 18 to smash, bro? When you were smashing a 14-year-old Foxy Brown, when you was a teenager in Tierra Marie, you were smashing the teenager in Aaliyah, you were smashing the teenager in Rihanna. The court of public opinion is real. The court of public opinion is real. So this entertainment and politic thing is huge, because look at what's really going on. It's in our timeline. You see Trump, who's what is it? Newsweek Man of the Year, Time Man of the Year, and the editor. Nobody has done anything as good as Trump. Kissing that pinky ring. Everybody's stepping in, trying to figure out what they're gonna do. But the lost cause is the Democratic Party, the Congressional Black Caucus, and these liberal organizations, because they're literally gone. Good morning, Alabama in the house. Okay, we out here in Cali. Let me see here. Jay-Z denying his alleged son because his deceased mother was a minor. Wow. And I think this is probably why he signed Kendrick to do the Super Bowl, because he didn't want Kendrick to put out a song talking about Jay-Z and a minor. Think about that. I'm new, but I'm feeling it. Hey, listen, over here, we trying to change the game. Okay. And a lot of people look at the channel, A Better Black America, and Black is an acronym for Black, Latin, Asian kinsmen. This is what we do. We trying to figure this thing out. Okay. Black Lives Matter, brother. Listen, we're going to brand ourselves as we tapping in. We're going to be the MAGA plus movement. Okay. Because we have to establish ourselves. We learn if we work with you, you're going to destroy what we have. Okay, so we're going to work as independent operators and make sure that we get our slice of the pie. Each Democratic state, we're going to pretty much get them the resources so these hoods and these communities, these hoods can become, healthy grocery stores, banks, good education. We're going to do the work, because the Congressional Black Caucus, the baby boomers, and the Black Democrats up until now have sold their souls, and the Democracy is over. So we have to operate as nonpartisan independents to make sure we do what we need to do. And it is what it is. I'm in the comments. Jay-Z and Puffy are two wings of the same bird. Absolutely. In the comments. Now, any black person who can read and comprehend what they read, let me see here. I can't understand why they vote Democrat. Okay, because the science of Willie Lynch, and I have to break this down. It's the science of Willie Lynch, and it's the influence peddling of the baby boomers, because the baby boomers, they've been lied to. The baby boomers exercise. The baby boomers will, get you to vote for the lesser of two evils. Remember that? It's the lesser of the two evils. When I read my Bible, the same Bible everybody got, it says, lead us not into temptation to deliver us from evil. And some text says the evil one. And we know without a shadow of a doubt. So the baby boomers is the group of people, especially in the black community, who pretty much suffer from what we call post-traumatic slave syndrome and a crab bucket syndrome, meaning, they want everybody to think the same. They want everybody to feel the same. They want everybody to do the same, but they don't understand it at the cost of what we're trying to do as a people. And this is why God has intervened. Okay, this is why Trump, when he turned his head, the assassin's bullet missed, because they pretty much meant to use the assassin's bullet to control history, because the assassin's bullet changed the trajectory of history. Look, just imagine if Abraham Lincoln was not assassinated at the end of the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln, and fact check anything that I say, Abraham Lincoln had put together what we call the Freedmen's Bank Bureau. You remember when they 40 acres and a mule? That happened. When the Union Army came through North South Carolina, the people that were there, the slaves that was there, they pretty much says, take an acre, take a mule, do what you need to do. But at the end of the war, the planters got their property back. Okay. And they became sharecroppers. Okay. but Abraham Lincoln put away $8 million in the Freedmen's Bank Bureau back in 1865. If you run that with interest today, you're talking about in the trillions of dollars. So just imagine if Abraham Lincoln was not assassinated and was able to fulfill that promissory note that Dr. King talks about, and pretty much started to establish the newly freed slave. So these the $8 million grants, the $8 million was to build their homes, to build businesses and their communities. But he was assassinated. And the vice president was Andrew Johnson at the time. And then they saw, how can we South on free labor? And they put the criminalization clause in the Constitution, which is the 13th Amendment. And they pretty much created the Vagrancy Act of 1866, meaning any newly free slave that appeared to be homeless, appeared to be vagrant, appeared to be looking for displaced family members, you could put a ball and chain on them and force them to do involuntary servitude. And that is still on the books today. And this is why we get an opportunity to separate ourselves from the Democratic Party, so we can actually fulfill, the promises of the past. This is why God has saw us fit to be right where we are right now, to right the wrongs of the past and expose the Democratic Party for what it is: the party of slavery, the party of Jim Crow, and the party of mass incarceration, just to name a few. So with that $8 million, what happened to it? Okay, now money's just paper. You can print it up. So we could print up billions of dollars if we want to. So the money is still there. But what they did, they took the commissioner of the Freedmen's Bank, which was named by Abraham Lincoln. The commissioner of the Freedmen's Bank, his name was Otis Howard. And they basically gave him the funding to create a segregated Negro college called Howard University. And this is how, they wanted to, this is the signs and wonders to the, anti-democratic side. And then a Howard graduate, in a sense of Kamala Harris. Puffy went to Howard, okay? And there are so many men that went to Howard that got NDAs, they gag orders, can't sleeping with Harris, can't speak on smoking cigarettes and weed with Harris, can't speak on what they did to her when she was pledging a sorority at the time. And she pledged at a time where hazing was legal. Okay, so they got all NDAs. So this is why when they set up at Howard University on inauguration day, that's why they was trying to commemorate that, because in their mind, they drunk the Kool-Aid. In their mind, they fell for the okie doke. In their mind, they leave the BS, because everybody with a brain knew that she had no pathway to victory. Okay, because when she said, I'm not going to do anything just for black people, she lost the black vote. And then when black men stood down, the Latinos, it's like, you guys not even voting for your sister. Okay, so we're going to vote for Trump. Go ahead. Okay. And then when they come out with these lies, it wasn't the black man. Okay, listen. There was so many black men and black women who pretty much made their point and did what they were supposed to do. Now, here in California, I ran a down ballot campaign, Right in Jesus Christ, because I'm an advocate for, I was an advocate for Proposition 6, which is to end slavery in California. Did not pass, but it will be back on the midterms. We're going to make it happen. So we pretty much wanted to go and vote hyper local. We did not want to leave, the presidency blank. So we was guided to go to the bottom and write in Jesus Christ. And that's what we did. Okay. And we voted, hyper local for proposition, for measures, for judges and all of that stuff. So we did our due diligence, because we know our ancestors fought for the right to vote. Okay. So we did that in of 3.6 million Democrats. And this is fact. 3.6 million Democrats voted down ballot. They either ran a candidate, or they voted for the Peace and Freedom Party, Libertarian Party, Green Party. They voted for Dr. Abdullah and Cornel West, who was running as independents, and Jill Stein, 1.6 million votes. Okay, Jill Stein, down ballot, because there were 7 states that did not allow the write-in. So this is how they numbers, because they was not going to vote for Harris, which indirectly is a vote for Trump, but We got an opportunity. Since we did what we did, we'll be able to tap in and sit at the table and negotiate, because we're anti-democratic, but we're not pro-Republican. But we'll work with whoever's in office. So run to Caesar's what is Caesar's, but we're going to render unto God's what is God's, and God's people shall not perish due to the lack of knowledge. So we're going to make sure we do what we need to do. So 3.6, and even this was a strategic play. Everybody know that JFK is fighting to be a cabinet member of Trump's administration, and he was running as an independent, and they basically put him on every ballot. But since he tapped out and basically said that he's endorsing Trump, they left him on the ballot. They left him on the ballot, and he got 1.2 million votes. Okay, so it's pretty much a vote against the Democratic Party, but not a vote for Trump. Okay, and we all know, if a registered Democrat does not vote for the Democratic Party or support the Democratic Party, you know, they're pretty much indirectly supporting the other side, because we believe the other side is smarter. You know, we see the economy, see the open borders. We see all of these things. We're not stupid. And this is why the baby boomers, pretty much, this was their last election to really have a conversation, because they can't speak on it. Okay, the gay man can't speak on it. Woman can't speak on it. Black women, they say for the next 4 years, they're going to just sit back and be quiet. But I say for the next years of their lifetime, when it comes to voting, and let the men handle their business, because we know what we're doing. So I basically gave 3.6 million votes when it comes to Democrats that did not support the Democratic Party. But this is the kicker. If you do the math in 2020, okay, versus 2024, this is the election, and it was men and women, black men and black women, literally stood down. So there were 10 million less votes in 2024 than there was in 2020. Yes, Joe Biden was the only man and the last one to beat Trump. Okay, but when it comes to Kamala Harris, 10 million registered Democrats decided, I'm not going to vote at all. And 3.6 million Democrats decided to vote, you know, third party, right in. And if you want the statistics, Jesus Christ came in first place with the write-in. Mickey Mouse came in second place with the write-in vote. And you ready for this? D's came in third place. And if you did not know, they've been doing this in North and South Carolina for a while, because in 2016, these nuts got 9% of the general election, and Hillary lost to Trump by 4. So yeah, we did. So it is what it is. It is what it is. And I mean, these comments can, you know what I'm saying? So what can blacks expect, you know, from this administration? What is the assignment? I'm glad you asked, because the assignment is to operate as a nonprofit organization, in which we're doing right now, and building a coalition with you and all the American people to fight for the rights of the American people. And our number one call to action on the campaign trail, Trump did some campaign promises that are going to hold him to. Okay. And it's going to help black people directly, specifically for black people. And by default, it's going to help or whoever who happen to be in our social class, because the black social class pretty much makes up, you know, of the working class and middle class. OK, we can't account for rich, but we could account for poor. But they're your conversation. OK, because they get food stamps and welfare and all that. We ain't talking about them. We talk working class and the middle class. So basically, as a campaign promise, which we're going to hold him to, and, you know, hit the notification, hit the subscribe, hit the like. It doesn't cost you anything. It just helps us with the algorithm, because we're going to be pretty much having a movement in a sense of for the people, by the people, the day of the inauguration. And for the next 4 to, you know, we get exactly what we want. And out the gate, the number one thing that we're going to fight for and make sure it happens, and we're going to champion, since the Democrats are irrelevant and they're lame. Okay, we're going to make sure that we hold this president accountable. Now, on the campaign trail, I know a lot of us heard that Donald Trump said that he's, you know, wants to do something with taxes. OK, and he's had a conversation, and I basically heard him say out of my mouth, no tax on tips. OK, so no tax on tips will help the, you know, the food service workers, the waitresses. And there's a large volume of black people who shake their booties and dance and all of that, who pay taxes or tips. So that's going to immediately, OK, help the wage earner, help the waitresses, as well as the dancers. So you're welcome. We're going to make sure he signed an executive action for we don't even want it to go through Congress. We don't want it to even be voted on. We want an executive action signed, no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, which would be beneficial for the dancer and the waitress. Number two, for you union workers, okay, you hourly wage earners, the working class. He basically said, and we're going to hold him accountable. And you're looking at the man who's a part of the organization who's going to be doing these things. So when I ask you for $1 down the road, y'all go ahead and kick in, because, why give your money to Democrats and all that, and they're just going to blow $1.6 billion, and they're not doing anything, but at least we're going to do the work for you. Okay. Number two, no tax on overtime. We want that to be into law. Not through an act of Congress, but as an executive order. Number three, no tax on Social Security. So just like you Democrats, you baby boomers, this is why we're telling you, don't even voting anymore. Don't even be an audience. Just sit back and go to Shady Acres and let your sons and daughters handle the business that y'all could not handle. And we're going to make sure you get everything you want. Okay, because no tax on Social Security. They get SSI insurance twice a month, 1st and the 15th. Okay, and they're taxed at 20% twice a month. So if we can get this thing passed, if we can work collectively as a nonpartisan organization without an opposition, because it's for the people, by the people. And if you look at the Constitution says we the people. So if we can get this thing done as a not through an act of Congress, but through the executive order pen, no tax on Social Security, meaning any Social Security or SSI insurance benefit recipient gets a 40% increase on their bottom line. Somebody give me a like for that. A 40% increase on the bottom. Thank you. A 40% increase on the bottom line monthly. And then we're going to press the line even further. He said these things, the talking points. We're going to lobby, okay, and fight for this measure. Not lobby Congress, but lobby his cabinet to do this. Okay, the only black person in his cabinet is the director of HUD. So that'd be our direct connect right there. Okay, and then the black senators and Byron Donalds, and Tim Scott, we're going to be sitting with them as well. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on SSI insurance. And we're going to press it even further, because he basically said, I got it all saved for my presentation. When I sit in front of these people, he said that senior citizens need to be tax exempt. Wow. That's the plan out the gate. Okay. That's the plan out the gate, for the people, by the people. And when I sit in a room with him, I'm going to pretty much basically tell this man, Donald Trump, listen, brother, if you want to be the greatest president in American history, and I hope that somebody gets this to him. If you want to be the greatest president in American history, you want your family to be the name Trump to be the most prestigious name in all of the elitists around the world. Do us this favor, and it's just for black people. We want you to sign executive action to amend the Constitution, take the criminalization clause off the 13th Amendment. Brother, if you do that, Donald J. Trump, man, come on, man. See, we ain't checking in, we tapping in, because we ain't got nothing to offer you. Because at the end of the day, if you do, you will go down as the greatest president in American history. Okay, you will be more prestigious than George Washington and Abraham Lincoln put together. They'd be calling you George Lincoln Trump. I'm telling you, because our Congressional Black Caucus has failed us. It's a shame that the Democratic Party has not, we had a black president. Obama didn't do it. Think about it. So what's really going on? So we want to be assets. We don't want to just be no liabilities. So that's the plan. That's the plan. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's going to be the MAGA plus movement. We're not signing up with MAGAs because we want to make African American black again, because when we was black, we was on. Okay. But somehow, some way, the baby boomers sold their souls. And somehow, hey, they're going to die in the wilderness, because when the Bible talks about dead man's bones, that's what they are. Irrelevant. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Let me see. It is what it is. Somebody from Russia then popped in. Okay. What's up? We global. We worldwide right now. Pop off. Okay. I'm Russian. I live in Sacramento, trying to save the black community, one person, one day at a time. Hey, listen, hit the subscription, hit the notification, and let's work together in solidarity to do that, because we champion ourselves. And when you say save, let's say champion. Okay. Because Hillary was trying to champion women and break the glass ceiling and all of that. We got to champion ourselves, and we'll be willing to work with any entity that's supporting what we're doing. And our first call to action is to make sure these actions go through, because it's going to help the culture and it's going to help everybody. And that's no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, no tax on SSI, and tax exemption to citizens, and a constitutional amendment. Okay, amend Constitution, take the criminalization clause, ratify it, and let's give me the pen after you sign it, and then we can move on. Open the Freedmen's Bank, and let's distribute those to the communities that we believe that we live in. Because, like I said, delayed but not denied. Okay, let me see here. I got somebody else. I spent 13 years in Compton, Watts, etc., teaching kids about nutrition, farming, healthy diet, and loved it, but had to quit 2 years ago because my parents gone insane. And listen. Everything that you're doing, the organization that I associate with, Community Garden, we have a weekly food program. We have a clothing program. We're giving away winter coats this weekend. So what I'm saying is, appreciate you for your services, but just tap in with organizations, because like the Bible says, we got to look out for the least of these. And a lot of times, we think that individuals have our best interests at hand, because I went to USC, I went to UCLA, and I'm the black community. They not working for the community, because we are what they call the prodigal sons. And they're going to get mad, but we about to get laced. Okay. We sat back on the sidelines for a very, very long time. Now this is our opportunity to do God's will, because when I read the book of Matthew, and they asked Jesus about the scribes and the Pharisees, and the scribes, if you didn't know, is the liberal Democrats today. The Pharisees are the Republicans. Jesus said, I didn't come to change this. I came to fulfill. And then for him to say that and to die for all of us, Jews and Gentiles, then it's on us to stand in the gap and do what he did, not what would Jesus do. So now this is our opportunity to make sure we figure this thing out and do what we need to. It is what it is. We ain't coming to change the scribes, the Pharisees. We in here trying to fulfill the will of God, because there should be one race, and that's the human race, country where our ancestors built on free labor, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God. And that's what we're fighting for. One nation. Cannot be an opposition party who's the Antichrist. Cannot be an opposition party who's anti-God. Opposition party who weaponize, media, Department of Justice, the FBI, and CIA, but now they got to kick in. ABC paid Trump $15 million. Jeff Bezos, $1 million for inauguration party. Zuckerberg kissing that ring, $1 million for inauguration party. It is what it is. It is what it is. And then let me see here this guy put in by illegals. Now, I'm going to say this. If you are an illegal immigrant, okay, abide by the laws of the land, and number one, learn English, because I'm hearing that's going to be one of the major discretions. Hey, do you know English? Oh, no, then get out of here. Okay, so think about it. You respect the laws of the land. You respect where you at. You be an asset instead of a liability, and learn the language, because with our food program, you got these Latinos who don't speak English, and it's I'm learning Espanol. Me se habla español. Mi estudio tres en la escuela. So we got to learn the language, but you here in America. So if you want to stay in America, abide by the rules and learn the language, because I've been seeing some things in these backdoor blogs, and they pretty much, when they talk about the illegal immigrants, now they're talking about the ones that have committed crimes, and they're establishing an organization, ICE. And what they're going to do, they're going to go ahead and clean up all the jails. So if you're an illegal immigrant that's in jail, you'll be the first to be deported, and they're clearing up space, for the others. So I'm going to just say abide by the laws of the land, learn the language, and all I can say is God bless you. All I can say is God bless you. And I'm in the comments right now. Let me see here. Let me see here. And then they tried to kill him. And see, and that's, let me see, Ramon said that they tried to kill him because, like I said earlier, the assassin's bullet is how they changed him. Because if they were successful at that, it's a possibility we'll be sitting here waiting for a Harris administration. Okay. And pretty much World War III, it will be over. But somehow, some way, he turned his head at the right time. So just think about, when he's in office, that the CIA, FBI, as well as Secret Service, they're going to have to be accountable. Okay. And this is why you got a lot of people resigning and changing careers, because they were told to do what they did. Okay. And a lot of times when you're told to do, what you're supposed to do, you got to be successful at it. And if you're not, then you see the changing of the guards because they missed. Now he's the president. And this is why ABC kicked in $10 million to Donald Trump. Mark Zuckerberg, $1 million to the inauguration party. Jeff Bezos, $1 million to the inauguration in the list. So kiss that pinky ring. And the thing about it is, while they're kissing the pinky ring and checking in, we see how this thing works. They don't care about the people. They care about their brand, because Amazon wants to be successful. So let's go ahead and put $1 million into his inauguration, and this is the kicker. They're going to show the inauguration on Amazon Prime and to do a documentary on Amazon Prime for your streaming, pleasure. Think about it. Zuckerberg, Meta. Think about the technology. Look what's going on with TikTok. Look at Facebook. How now they're starting to monetize. How now, you could do the reels, and it's starting to look, they starting to pivot those adjustments to look a little like TikTok. So if they do something about TikTok, that $1 million, and this past Thursday, Zuckerberg was at Mar-a-Lago having lunch with Trump. Think about it. But then look at the black community. What we supposed to do? Go tuck ours. So I'm going to tell them black baby boomers and these white liberals, y'all go tuck y'all tails and y'all go bye-bye, because we didn't support Harris. We didn't support the dirty this time around. So now we going to take your seat at the table, because you fight for the rights of the people. You fight for the rights of the people who cut the checks. And Harris said the same. And Harris said that. It is what it is. It is what it is. Comments, man. Let me see here. Because at the end of the day, it is what it is. And somebody put Trump is a blessing to our nation. I cannot disagree to that, because I am that God will use anybody to make these uppity people who think that they all of that in a bag of chips, to show them that they ain't nothing. Because all of these elitist people, all of these right wingers, all of these individuals who's, put their credibility in on the line, where they at? Looking bad. And right now, your friends, Bezos kissing the ring, Zuckerberg kissing the ring, ABC, which he called fake news, just to be quiet, done broke him off $15 million. So clearly they was putting out some fake news, because we want to go to trial with that defamation lawsuit. It is what it is. Now, do drop. Let me see here. That's what I've been saying. Slaves were property and had legal documented dollar value. Why don't they want people their inheritance? Well, the reason why they don't want to people their inheritance, because the poet Kendrick said it best. They not like us. Okay. And that's the Democratic Party, the Black Congressional Congress, because the Democratic Party is formed out of supremacy. So the Democrats are the ones that don't want to pay blacks. The Democrats are the ones who want to continue to treat black slaves. Dewdrop. Just look at the Harris campaign. Look at the Harris campaign. They paid millions upon millions of dollars for black entertainers to endorse Harris because they called themselves, not called, classified as influencers. So by putting Beyonce on the stage, by putting Megan Thee Stallion, Glorilla, Usher, these entertainers, Eminem, these entertainers that pretty much got paid just an appearance fee, they thought that, you know, they can control the slaves that way, but they lost. So the Democratic Party, if they were to pay out compensation, then that means they have to expose, you know, and I like to talk about the 5 W's, the who, what, where, when, why, and how. So they will be exposed. Who? The Democratic Party. What? Slavery. Where? Legalized in the South. Why? To make money, because blacks was profits. Why the 3/5 rule came into effect, because they wanted to vote and have delegates based population. But, you know, the North said, you know, that's your property. They like a horse. You know, you can't count a whole human. And this is what compromise derived from 3/5. So according to the Democrats, you know, we're subhuman. According to Hillary Clinton, the Democratic candidate and the wife of President said, we're not human. We're super predators that need to be brought to heel. Said it out of her mouth. So what is that? You know, it's not aging well. So now we as individuals, we have to separate ourselves from the party of slavery, from the party of segregation, Jim Crow South, from the party of mass incarceration, and operate as an independent body of people. Because what it's looking like, there's going to be a class action lawsuit by Black America against the Democratic Party, you know, for holding up our inheritance. Okay. For, you know, locking us up and creating an ecosystem to where, you know, you robbing and pillaging and all of that. I just looked at the news, you know, the police, they pretty much ran down some individuals who stole $900 worth of merchandise out of Target. But prior to that, you know, the defund the police proposition, Prop 47, meaning you can't even cash this bail. You can't even prosecute an individual if they still under 1,000. This is why here in LA, and I'm not sure about your cities, where they lock up, you know, essential items, you know, for toothpaste, you know, you got to ring a buzzer, you know, for underwear, you got to ring a buzzer, for lotion, you got to ring a buzzer. These things are behind glass doors because of Democratic liberal rules, because their job is to tear down. Okay, this is why Biden said build back better. Okay, to tear down. They like to repeal and replace, and start remembering regime change and nation build. Look what's going on around the world. The Democratic Party is pretty much tinkering on war crimes right now. The Democratic Party is genociding Muslim people in Gaza. Okay. And then when you ask them about the Democratic Party, they talk about October 7th, when we have the best military in the world who could have went and strategically exterminated any that was a part of that. But they pretty much gave billions of dollars to Israel to pretty much kill all the Palestinian Muslims. So we can't be associated with the party. So the Democratic Party that's holding back and stunning the growth of Black America. Because prior to 64, we was on our way. The Black nuclear family was at 70+%. Okay. Education was something that was promoted in the community. Okay. But what happened when we cut a deal with the Democrats? When Lyndon Johnson said, bring in the nigger leaders, and we went on and signed up with the Democratic Party, what happened? Okay. They changed us from a race, okay, to an ethnicity, and they put us with race, creed, you know, the sex, and everything else outside of what we was fighting for, because at the time, the issue was racial matters, was racism all around the country, the Chateau racism in the North, all of these things. But somehow, some way, we cut a deal with them. And then all of a sudden, oh, we'll let you be a congressman. We'll let you be a senator, but you have to fight for what we tell you to fight for. Because we've been around this whole time, and the only time you're going to have a conversation about, you know, the Freedmen's Bank, reparations, Independence is on Channels 9. So if you have not subscribe, hit the notification, because we got to do the work. Okay, the baby boomers they sold out. They fought to eat at the same kitchen. Oh, we desegregated the kitchen. We desegregated buses. Why didn't we have our own bus line? Instead of sitting in the back, why didn't we have our own black bus line? Because that was too much like right. So we got to fight to sit at the same table, and then they water hosing us down. Look at the history, look at the archives, water hosing us down, doing all of these strange things, blowing up girls in churches. We somehow, some way, wanted to be a part of that. So I guess it's like, if you can't beat them, join them. But at the end of the day, the data does not support anything to continue on this path. And this is why, because it's giving the black race an opportunity to free itself and deliver itself from the one, which is the Democratic Party as a whole, the party with no God, the party that's anti-American, the party that wants your son to be a girl and your girl to be a boy. Think about it. So now this is our opportunity to do the work. Now this is our opportunity to do the work. So now this is what freedom looks like. This is what it feels like. This is what it tastes like. It is what it is. And we can and we will, and we're going to make this thing happen. Let me see here. Yeah, let me see here. KRAR, that's a Bobby. Let me see here. Yeah, I can't listen to your nonsense anymore. Have fun. Okay, because Bobby more than likely, is a part of the Democratic Party. And I hate to see you go, Bobby, but you writing paragraphs. So you just probably wanted some attention. But like I said, I can understand, when you sell your soul to the devil and you're a lost cause and you're irrelevant, how you don't want to talk about the pathway moving forward. You want to talk about, the next move, which is going to be our best move. You don't want to talk about true equality and equity, that we should be, fighting for. Because like I said, we want our own to table. We want our hoods and communities to be thriving communities where we're recycling our dollars with healthy food, with grocery stores and banks and credit unions and all of the things that comes with a thriving community. But when you look up the worst Democratic cities in America, the top 20, 18 are Democratic ran, murder and all of this. You see how they, the man who killed the healthcare worker CEO. See, we want the FBI, to look at all life. If there's a murder, it's a hate crime. Because if they say, oh, it's just senseless violence, they leave it to the locals and the detectives, and they're just pretty much closing out cases and get cases on a daily basis. So you're going to get these things continually. But we want the FBI to get involved and start solving some of these crimes so we can actually, change the temperature on homicides. Because there was a time where cowboys and Indians used to fight. Okay, there was a time where the mafia ran everything. Okay, so now just understand this is our moment to fix the rights of the wrong of the past, and not allow elected officials who can only do what the check writers say and put RICO charges on rappers and use rap music for lyrics and all of this stuff. I mean, knock it off. You guys ain't nothing but high price hoes. Bedwench concubines, selling your souls, prostituting because you're doing something that that they won't do. Just think about it. You're doing something that they won't do. They won't prosecute Trump, but they'll tell Fani Willis to do it. They won't prosecute Trump, but they'll have Letitia James do it. And then when he gets off and then you guys got to eat crow, you literally committed career suicide. And it is what it is. Okay, Tammy. Okay, the biggest problem is not just Black Lives Matters, it's all lives matters. And the only way all lives can matter, the only way all lives can matter is if we champion the black community, because they use Black lives strategic. Okay, Black Lives Matters got Biden elected. They used that energy off a black man getting murdered, okay, on TV, They ran it on the television station, and they pretty much programmed us. And somehow, some way, we fell for the okie doke and voted in Joe Biden. And look at the world right now, tinkering on the world wars. Think about it. Look at the economy. Okay. Look at inflation. Look at how the investments were prior to election day, because since election day, the S&P 500 is off the charts. Okay. Stock conversations, cryptocurrency, okay, is through the roof right now. So you guys about to go ahead and look into that, because it's kind of like the gold rush and the oil days, because there's instant millionaire happening on a daily basis. So let's be honest with ourselves. So for all lives to matter, we got to make sure that we, help champion the Black community, because once we have champions, once we have lobbied the sitting president to do that constitutional amendment, and there's no criminalization clause, okay, which means, there's no slavery clause. So there's no involuntary servitude. So which is the prison system. Then we can talk about one nation under God, individual liberty and justice for all. One nation under God. Because once we do this, and it's going to happen, once we do this, then only one race is going to matter, and that's the human race. It is what it is. That's the human race, because the Black human beings, or the transatlantic slaves, African American, whatever you want to call it, these are what we call liabilities to the Democratic Party. This is why they push for the welfare state. They push these agendas to preserve their position of power. And they can only stay in power if we stay in positions of servitude, or if we stay at the bottom. This is why they allowed the southern border to be open, because they wanted to replace it. Because if you look at the data, Blacks, we persevere, no matter what's going on, we keep on pushing, no matter what the situation is. So, and they saw the shift. Okay. Not only the shift, and they say they didn't Trump, but the shift in not participating. Okay. Because how can the party come back in just 4 years? Who's going to run for president on the Democratic side? Okay. So this might be the last time we voted and there's a relevant Democratic candidate, because nobody's going to touch it. Nobody's going to touch it. The Republicans are going to have a run for a very long time. And that's real. And I'm going through these comments. Let me see here. Let me see. What was the point of the integration when things are still not fair? Pointless. Well, that's Dewdrop, my new best friend. At the time, I guess they felt good we went to Macy's. We sat in a white restaurant today. Yeah, we went down there and we sat in there, and the white man was right there, and we ate with sir. Yes, sir. No, but I guess, if you can't beat them, join them. But you look at the data, it was an epic fail, because it destroyed any establishment that we were attempting to establish. And this is white riders, the KKK in the Democratic Dixiecratic South, became what they was because they burnt down our cities. They burnt down our homes. They burnt down our business establishment, which forced us to go to the back door to their establishment. So now that we know the truth, let's live in that truth, and let's live in the realm. Let's live in the realm. Let's do what we need to do. And like I said, these comments, y'all, it's through the roof. And like I said, it's too many to comment on. And it's probably the most time that I've ever seen this many comments. So hit the subscription, hit the like, hit the notification. And like I said, it's too many for me to comment on. It is what it is. And let me see here. So I went down to the timeline in. So the latest one is they want us to trust our enemies and not to spit on our food. I agree on that, but we can't trust the enemy. Okay. The enemy is the enemy, and we have to know that. Okay. We have to know that. And we got the data, and let me see here. Keep speaking facts. I appreciate that. Let me see here. All that stuff has happened. So now it's time to move forward. Now it's time to move forward. And to Steve Smith. Okay. Let's go ahead and hit a shame for Steve Smith. He said, get a job, race hustler. This is a monetized YouTube channel, and I'm at work right now, and you're enjoying the show, okay? Because as a race hustler, you know, these are things white men say because they want you to talk about class because they broke and they over here with the niggers. So go over there with the rich whites. So you want to come over here on this side with the niggers, okay? Because, you know, we accept your broke white trash self, and I'm going to go there because at the end of the day, you know, it's all about love. It's all about love. And for individuals to say that, and it's always some broke white man or some broke Karen white female who don't like black people and will call you a nigger in a heartbeat, that has to, when we talk about race, because race is our grace. And we got 400 years of information and data that says America has been racist by doing what they did to one particular race, and that's the black race here in these United States of America. So don't get mad that we don't want to go to your kitchen. Don't get mad if we don't want to hang out with you in your neighborhood. Don't get mad because we want to establish our neighborhood. Don't get mad because we want to do what's right by our. Don't get mad because we don't trust no liberal white female. Get mad because we don't trust no homosexual white man. Don't get mad because we don't support your policies. Because we know without a show, only way you all exist is if you connect yourself to us, because you know who we are. Because the Bible says in the book of Genesis and the book of Acts of the Apostles, the children of Abraham, and that's Jesus Christ's lineage, not the Jewish, the children of Abraham will be stolen from their land. We were stolen from Africa. Dwell in a foreign land. We're dwelling in this foreign land called America. We will be and they will be slaves and duly oppressed for 400 years. And that 400-year biblical prophecy expired this August of 2024 with a presidential election, which we have delivered ourselves from this burning house, and we will no longer support the racist, broke, poor whites and the elitists in the Democratic Party ever again. So your reign is over. So now, while they kissing the ring of Trump, y'all gonna have to kiss our ring. Okay, we're gonna love on you, but you're gonna have to come correct. And I'm responding to the comment of this fool called me a race peddler when I'm trying to liberate God's people. And the only that they exist is if we stay broke, dumb, and disgusted. But if we step our game up, they don't even exist. But the continuance of the scripture says, when I, God, after that 400-year biblical prophecy, I punish the oppressors and they will come out with great wealth. So this is why we're talking about the Freedmen's Bank, because we're going to come out with great wealth. We got $1 billion running interest right now on a federal level that President Trump is being lobbied to basically sign. Okay. So run us our bread. Then it says they will come out with great wealth and I will punish the oppressor and they will come out with great wealth. So now God is punishing the oppressor, and the oppressors know this. This is why they throwing Jay-Z out there. They throwing Diddy out there. This is why they throwing, because the oppressors trying to protect themselves. But God don't like ugly. And this is our moment in time and our moment to do what we got to do. So if you don't want to get clowned, if you don't want to, come correct. And this means make African American back again, because when we were thriving as a black race here in the United States, and we were saying aloud, we was black and we was proud, it was a threat to the Democratic Party. So they made sure that they ended our race and made us an ethnicity and called us an African American and put us in the same boat or in the same pot with white women, liberals, with poor whites, the trailer parks, the homosexuals, the immigrants, and all of that. So we got to reject this African American thing, because if we're back to black, then that comes with the race, that with community, that comes with education, that comes with a constitutional and a cash payout. So the party's over. James Brown had a song, Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud. Look in the 60s, Black love was beautiful. But what is an African American? I ain't never been to Africa before. So I'm two continents. So what about the African that just got here today legally and want to become an American? Is he African American? Yeah. We are what you call Black American, and our race is black, just like the other race is white, and just like the other race is yellow, which is the, and it all came from a 9-series DNA, the 2 split 6, the Negroid, Caucasoid, and the Mongolian. Boom. It is what it is. It is what it is. Let me see here. King David has red hair, bozo. But King David, that's American in Ukraine. But King David, just think about this election, though. I like that. Just think about this election, though. If you look at the Democratic Party, you know, would you call the Democratic Party a Goliath politically? And they got slayed. So is Trump David? Think about it. But all we do know, the Democratic Party is tied down. And on Inauguration Day, he going to give us the sword, and he going to let us chop the head off the party, because it will never, ever exist again. It is what it is. It is what it is. And let me see here. And in closing, why don't you just call, let me see here. Why don't you just call something else? Don't call it black. Let me see, African American, make up a different. Okay. Now, as a like, hit the notification, hit the subscription, Manny. Let's have that conversation. You know, what you want to be, the kings, like the sons of God. I like that. I like that. But to close this chapter out, it's going to be a race thing. We got to get this bread, bro. We got to close this chapter out. So it is what it is, man. And it is what it is. My race is my, okay. And what color are your eyes, Lisa? Okay. It is what it is, man. I appreciate y'all so much. And hit the notification, hit the like, you know, just help the algorithm. But we're going to be working hard, man, moving forward. There's a method to the madness. You know, I like the radio style conversation, you know, but I'm going to be inputting software. We're going to be able to have these conversations, but you are having a conversation with one of the men that's going to be making the difference when it comes to humanity. Okay. Because, you know, I'm gonna just keep it 100. You know, they told me just to create, you know, my position, and it's a, not an elected position. It's a selected, position. I'm going to be classified as Secretary of Black American and Humanitarian Affairs. Secretary of Black America and Humanitarian Affairs, meaning the Constitution is not political. We're going to make sure that we got the win-win, meet every individual where they are, and we're going to make this nation great. We're going to make this nation great. And with that being said, man, I appreciate y'all, you know, and I love you. Let me see here. You have a good day. And before I get up out of here, let me see here. AR Bobby, he wants some energy right now. Okay. Nothing that I say, I'm not your comment. I'm gonna just talk to you directly. I speak all facts. This is not propaganda. Okay. You're going to have to come back, look at a few videos and see how consistent I am. But this is what change looked like. Okay. There's nothing propaganda about the Democratic Party, you know, being dismantled. There's no propaganda about ABC paying $15 million to Donald Trump. There's no propaganda when, you know, kicked Trump off of his platforms, and now he's paying Trump $1 million, kissing the pink ring, paying Trump $1 million for his inauguration party. Jeff Bezos paying Trump $1 million for the inauguration, is going to pretty much put a documentary together and stream it on Amazon Prime. There's no propaganda about that. This is all facts. We're here on A Better Black America, and black is Black, Latin, Asian, Caucasian kinsmen, and we seek the truth and resolution for creating a better America for all. And there's nothing typical about me. And I'm hoping you know, responding or talking to somebody in the comments, but you know, I'm one of one. Okay. I'm one of one. You know, you will never get these because nowhere else. I was taught by the best. I learned by the best, and this is our opportunity. And I see a wide open lane to have these conversations to pretty much change the face of not only America, but the world. Because the Bible says good men, good women leave their children's an inheritance. And our job is to make sure they got every necessity that they need to pass down whatever they're going to pass down to their lineage. And with that being said, you guys have a beautiful day. And it's all truth shall make us free. And the only thing that, that I can only speak of with the naysayers is that my, positive spirit exposes their demons. So with that being said, man, y'all have a beautiful day. This your man, Bushion Glover, signing out. Better Black America TV. Peace out.